We focus this version on the VPN to create a new client-to-LAN connectivity. With the client-to-LAN VPN, you can allow external devices already connected to the internet to connect to the LAN behind the protector and work as if they were connected directly inside the LAN. Users can be authenticated with the local database which resides on the protector. Otherwise, if your LAN is served by a Windows domain controller, you may use the Active Directory database to authenticate. The connection between the protector and the Active Directory database is made online as soon as a client tries to connect to the VPN. To configure the VPN, click on VPN Client-to-LAN Setup, and in the page that appears, enter the VPN name of your choice and the range of IPs that the protector will assign to client computers when they connect. This is typically a range of IPs in the same subnet as the LAN behind the protector. If you are using a local database for authentication, you can click here to edit users. Otherwise, the same function is available on the main menu on VPN Client-to-LAN Users. If you want to authenticate users against the Microsoft Active Directory database, click on this radio button. This will open the second part of the page with some fields to fill, and in these fields you have to enter the information that allow the protector to connect to the Active Directory database to authenticate users when they connect. You have to enter the name of the domain controller with Active Directory, the IP address of the domain controller, the domain name, the username that the protector will use to connect to the database, and the password for this user. Remember that on Windows Domain Controller, the administrator user has the first capital letter. It is also important to note that if there is a firewall between the protector and the domain controller, or if you have enabled the firewall on the domain controller, you have to open some ports, otherwise connection for authentication cannot be activated. The list of ports is here. When you have done, you just click OK, and then you can try to start your VPN. If for any reason the protector cannot connect to Active Directory, because for example the username or the domain name is wrong or the password is wrong, an error message will be displayed in the control panel. And the control panel will show the startup log where you can read important information about the reason why it was impossible to start the VPN. If you want to authenticate against the local database, just click here, OK. Then the protector will start the VPN, which in this case will not try to connect to the Active Directory database. To edit users, you just click here, and in this page we have the list of users authorized to connect to the VPN, and we also have a checkbox that indicates if the user is enabled or not, and we can easily enable or disable users without deleting it. If we want to add a new user, we can click here, we can enter the username, a password, an extended name if we want, an email address, and we can leave this field enabled or click on disabled if we want to create the user but not enable it immediately. Then we save settings and the new settings are immediately effective. So we don't have to disable and enable the VPN again for you to be able to connect to the VPN.